It's that wonderful time of year where something decides to massively rebalance in a game, and this happens a lot. It happened in Battlefield 4, it's happened in Battlefield 1, and here we are in Battlefield 5 with 5.2. Whether you love or hate the new time to kill changes, I think they're more or less here to stay. I don't see them changing very much, maybe some adjustments to weapons, but for the most part, I think it's safe to say there's not going to be a complete revert, but rather just adjustments further down the line. With that said, I think it's safe to say some people are unsure about what weapons they should be using and what is most effective. Now, I've decided to do that all for you. I've managed to do the legwork, and I've tried every single weapon. And I'm not just basing this off of, the statistics I've seen on the page. I'm basing it off of how it handles, how I feel it performs at ranges, and what I feel most people would find to be the most effective weapons in the field. So, I'm going to give you the best one for every individual class in Battlefield 5. Starting up with Assault. The Assault class is easily probably one of the best balanced classes at the moment because they have a nice little trade-off between some automatic weapons and some semi-auto, and the semi-auto class is easily the most killer available. The Carabin is my #1 choice for weapons in this category. If you have the fast reload specialization, this is one of the most lethal guns in the game. It does incredible headshot damage. You can 2-tap people with the Carabin up to about 50 meters, one headshot, one chest shot, and it's just a lethal force. This thing can absolutely decimate people. You can spam cannon it to a degree at close range as well, and I choose this over the Gewehr 43 purely because I feel it handles a little bit better. There's a little less of a kick between shots, and it feels like you can fire them a little bit more rapidly at closer ranges, whereas the Gewehr 43 tends to try to jump up a little bit too much between shots, and I highly recommend people try this. I think it's a headshot machine, and definitely the best semi-auto or sort of medium range rifle in the Assault class. I think it's probably one of the best in my opinion. I think it handles the best, I think it performs the best, I think it's the most lethal. You just have to really work through the specialization tree to get that quick reload feature, because that will make a world's worth of difference to how much you can use the gun effectively on the field. Moving on from that is the automatic option as a backup for the Assault class, for those of you who aren't too familiar with the semi-auto rifles. And that, obviously, for me, is the STG-44. I mean, I don't really know what people have to say. I know the gun got nerfed, but it's still pretty powerful. It still does the trick and can still decimate entire swarms of enemies. The STG-44 should be your go-to automatic option, should you not be using the Carabin. And as a third choice, just in case some of you are like, I don't like the STG anymore, I've used it too much, the Ruby Rolls is now a very acceptable automatic option for you in the class. On to the medic, and it's really no surprise that the Jungle Carbine is my #1 choice. It does a single headshot kill up to most ranges of around 50 to 75 odd meters, and is a 2-shot kill at any other range. You can either use this as an iron sight CQB option, or put the longer range sight on and have some fun at a more medium range engagement. Plus, it's never a downside to be able to heal yourself, so you can very easily drop some shots, reload, or peel off and heal, and then hit some more. It can be super aggressive or it can be super passive, depending on how you want to play it, but for the most part, it just has the sheer damage output to beat most people in current situations, especially at ranges beyond 30 to 40 meters. Moving on is the Type 100 SMG. This is probably the only alternative in the class. It has a fantastic option in terms of being able to be a medium to close range SMG. It's got a fast rate of fire, minimal recoil, and a great hip fire spread that really allows you to get CQB with people and nail lots of those critical headshots to make the damage difference. I think this is the best SMG at the moment. I don't see many others coming quite close. Some of the more slow firing ones are great, but I think that's mostly because people are just looking to get more headshots, which this is perfectly capable of doing. And the added bipod functionality is great as well. It allows you to be more accurate when you're looking at targets at ranges, which is becoming a problem in the game due to the new changes in 5.2. Moving on for me is definitely the LMG classes. In the support options, you don't really have much going in the way of things right now. Now, there is the MG42, which has the high velocity bullets, which has the old TCK at the moment, but that's likely going to be patched out, so it's not really worth talking about. For me, the prime gun in this category is the Lewis gun. The Lewis gun has a fantastic magazine size, it has the ability to bipod, it's accurate, you can use medium range optics over range, and absolutely destroy people with this thing. You have the ability to miss a couple of shots and still have ammo left over, which is great. And headshots are relatively easy to pull off, either with or without the bipod, which makes it great because it means you can actually fully take advantage of the damage models available to you. The Lewis really does seem to be in a league of its own at the moment. I think its engagement range damage is what makes it so good. I think you can safely still take people out in what feels like not a lot of time, up to about 50 meters, and I think that's what makes it quite special. I think that's why people are going to continue to use it. The close second for me is the Bren. I think the Bren is a nice alternative to the Lewis gun. Genuinely, one of the only reasons I don't use the Bren is A, the magazine's a little bit smaller than the Lewis gun, but B, because the magazine's in the way of the screen, and that really bothers me. It's something that I just will never be able to get over. I don't like things that clog up my viewing angles, and the Bren certainly does that. But it's definitely a close second. I think it's a gun that does lots of damage. I think it's a weapon that, much like the Lewis gun, is kind of like a hybrid assault rifle LMG kind of thing that can really do the job. And finally, unsurprisingly, in the recon class, we have the sniper rifles, and I've actually mostly just got one option here, maybe two. I just tend to go with high damage output, relatively high rate of fire rifles in this category. Weapons including the Gewehr M95 and the Ross MK3, I think those are two of the best at the moment. But a third alternative, of course, if you're looking for something a little bit different, is iron sighting the Lee Enfield. I think an iron sight Lee Enfield with its high rate of fire / bolt pullback is certainly one of the best weapons available if you're looking for a CQB sniper option at the moment. But for the most part, the Ross MK3 still beats most other weapons out of the pack. But anywho, folks, that's about it from me today, the Tactical Brit. Let me know if you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any weapon suggestions in the comments section below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon.